What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the streams. Happy Easter, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. We're going to be trying something a little bit different here on the channel. Planet Zoo. Now, I've been playing this game for a little bit, or should I say I've kind of jumped in, and tested a few things out here and there. Let's just see if I can just turn that music down a bit. There we go. Make sure I apply. But yeah, like I say, trying something a little bit different on the channel today. Now, I am a massive fan of games like this, the tycoon games, things like Planet Coaster and all that kind of stuff, which is another game which I will be showing on the channel. If you do, you guys do want to see Planet Coaster, then I'll be more than happy to show it here on the channel for you. But I believe this is made by the same people. Now, I'm not very clued up. Of course, it is a tycoon game, so essentially we'll be running our own zoo, learning the basics and kind of going from there. If you are into these sorts of games, or you have played these games before, then you do know exactly what to expect. But I thought what made it cool was the element of running your own zoo, looking after your own animals, and just having a bit of fun with it, to be honest. But like I say, without further ado, I'm going to jump straight into it. I'm going to resume from the from where I left off. I haven't got too far into it, but it's essentially learning the basics. Like I say, guys, I hope you're all doing well. Streams have been a bit slow recently. Of course, it's Easter holidays, so life comes first, unfortunately. But you know, I'm hoping to get the streams up and running and going. I do want to get a nice little schedule going as well. Which will make it a lot more easier for you guys, because I know that it's a bit hit and miss when the streams do come. So if I make a schedule and stick to that schedule, at least then you guys know when to expect a next stream, essentially. But make sure, obviously, like I say, you turn that bell notification on, that way you don't miss those sorts of things. And obviously subscribe if you're new. If you do like this sort of content, you do enjoy these sorts of streams, then don't be afraid to ask any questions. Leave a cheeky like on the channel, massively appreciate it. It definitely helps out. But yeah, the weekend finally upon us. You know, these weekends go so quick, but you know, I hope you're all doing well. But I am eager to jump in and do a bit more with this game. Now, from the first sort of off the get-go, it can be, I can see how it would be somewhat overwhelming for somebody that hasn't played a game like this before. It's definitely got a lot of requirements, a lot of things. You got to pay attention.
Let's head over to the Indian peafowls. I've been told that we need to improve their social welfare.
Okay. Right, let's see if I can remember this. Remember what to do here. Right, where are we going? Okay. Replay dialogue.
Let's head over to the Indian peafowls. I've been told that we need to improve their social welfare.
Ah, there we are. There we go.
Now then, just find one of the peafowls and select them to open our information panel. Then we can have a good gander at how they're doing.
Okay.
Although technically, I suppose gandering would just be for geese.
Social group. Okay. Oh, it's going to
Expand
leave
their
blowed
social
away.
welfare, and we can get a bit more detail. Now, they've clearly got plenty of space, and they're not stressed, but it looks like their social group isn't quite right. So let's find out more. Click on the social tab at the top of their information panel to see what's wrong.
Well, I would assume that
Right.
there's not
As
enough
you can
population
see, the
there.
peafowls need their population to be larger. To solve this little problem, you'll need to adopt 3 more female peafowls. Off you pop to the animal market then.
Oh, here we go. Right, so we need... Okay, so they're just females anyway. Adopt. Adopt and adopt. Waiting trading centre.
Good work on those peafowls.
There we
I
go.
expect they'll be delivered soon. But sadly, it sounds like our snow leopard is a bit grumpy. Let's head over there and see what's wrong with her.
A snow leopard. Okay. Probably not enough snow. That would probably be it.
Just like people, animals can suffer from stress if things aren't quite right. You know, like when you see someone put in the milk before the tea bag. In the case of these snow leopards, they're a bit stressed by their lack of privacy. You can lower their stress levels by swapping out the normal glass barrier by their cave for one-way glass.
Okay.
It's not a cheap option, but I think they're worth the expense, don't you? This will give the snow leopards somewhere to go when they want to get away from the prying eyes of the guests.
Well, that definitely makes sense, doesn't it? So let's have a look at the barriers. One-way glass. Okay.
Of course, when an animal
There we go.
isn't in its natural biome, it's probably going to be too hot or too cold. Unsurprisingly for the snow leopards, it's too hot, even with the terrible British weather. You should help cool it down by adding some coolers to their habitat. But let's start by opening up the temperature heat map and having a look-see at the temperature in the leopard's habitat. As you can see, we already have one cooler in there. Let's pop some more down and get as much of the habitat as chilly as we can. Luckily for us, this habitat already has power, but you'll need to make sure of that in the future. Just so you know, if any part of a habitat is powered, then the whole habitat will be powered.
Okay. Let's place some coolers down then. That's requested. Oh, want to go this way?
You can find heat maps for all sorts of helpful things, so do be sure to explore them and make good use of them.
I think that'll do.
It'll take a little while for the temperature to adjust once you've added coolers or heaters, but now we've got the coolers in, we can address the leopard's terrain welfare. You see, what the leopards really want in here is snow and rock, so let's make that happen.
Snow. Add a bit of that.
Now then, all of that should give you a pretty good understanding of how to make animals happy. So I'd like you to go and check on all the other animals in the zoo and fix up any issues with their habitats. That'll increase the average welfare of the animals across the whole zoo. And that average welfare is a very important statistic. Now, to quickly see how all your animals are doing in the zoo, you should go into zoo management and then into the animals section.
And then the animals section.
As you can see, this list shows you the animal's overall welfare. So if something's amiss, then you can quickly pop over to them using the locate button. Right, I'm off for a cuppa while you make sure all the animals are well looked after.
Okay, so we've got a tortoise, or a couple of tortoises. So we'll go over to them and check on those guys, because it says that they need some help, and a few others as well. So let's. Is there a way of? Oh, you can give them contraception as well. That's pretty crazy. Alright, where are we? They're in there. Amazing. So enrichment. So they need okay. Let's have a look at habitat, shall we? Enrichment items. Oof, that could literally be anything, couldn't it? What do they like? Toy and food enrichment. Food enrichment, okay. Bamboo feeder. But it'd be very nice if they told you like what animal, unless there's like a filter perhaps. There we go. Couple in there. Put a ball in there as well. Amazing. And insufficient toy. Okay, well I am putting they like rubber ducks. Okay. Well, that seems to have sorted that out. Glad that I found the filter for that. Let's have a look at tigers as well. So what do they need? Welfare, nutrition, hydration. So was it water? Well, they got water there. Let's have a look, shall we? Heaters, coolers, food and water. And let's have a look at the filter for the animals. What do we want? I've gone past it. I think I've gone past it. There we go. So they need water, food tray. Let's have a look at a large water bowl for them. There's a water pipe there as well. Now I'm hoping that helps the situation. What have we got? Nutrition. Oh, it requires a keeper. Well, the keeper's in there. Okay, how do I do that then? That's a very good question. Deployment, feed habitat, tend to habits, work zone. Wow, there is so much to choose from. There is such a huge list. I'm guessing it's... well, they're tigers, aren't they? They're not lions. Huh. Right, let's just go on to... let's just go on to another one. These two. How do I... okay, so that's the nourishment done. And then toy enrichment habitat. So let's have a look for toys. Let's give them one of them. I'm sure they'll love that. Right, that's them done. What else have we got? Few of the animals need a little bit of work. What's that? Alfonso. What is he? Okay. And then we've got some zebras as well. Let's just pop over to there and see what they need. Enrichment. So food enrichment in the habitat and toy enrichment in the habitat. So it seemed to be okay for everything else. It's just the same stuff really. We go to habitat. Thankfully, I found the filter option, so I'm able to look a little bit easier for things, more specific to certain animals. Plains zebra. There we go. Right, so that's toys. So what did they need? Food enrichment. So we'll go to food. We'll put a few things down. It's quite a big enclosure actually, which is very surprising. Is that it? We'll put some of those down as well, just to be on the safer side of things. Right, I think that should do. And then toy enrichment. Wait, that's what I'm... No, that's food, so I'm putting toys down now. Let's have a look.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. I think it's fair to say that you've passed the first part of your training with flying colours. There's still lots more to learn, but we'll have to head to another one of Bernie's zoos for that.
Okay.
If you want to grab your passport, we'll head off, shall we?
So far, so good.
Sounds like you've got the whole zoo purring away nicely. Well, purring, grunting, screaming, booming. All the appropriate noises. I guess I was right to hire you, huh? Don't tell her I told you, but Nancy wasn't sure you'd even last the morning. So, we're happy this is working out. And Nancy owes me a Foxy coffee. As strange as it seems, considering we just met, when I look at you, I feel like you're the child I never had. After the one I did have, obviously. But you see, zookeeping's not for my daughter. Don't get me wrong. Emma absolutely loves animals, but she set her sights somewhat higher. Wants to save the entire planet.
Oh, I see.
I'll just settle for saving a couple of species. And maybe having a type of frog named after me.
So, stay in this zoo or return to the menu. I'm guessing that's... Oh, I'm guessing that's the option to go to another zoo. But so far, so good. I mean, like I say, anybody that's played Planet Coaster, it is exactly the same, but it's just a zoo. You know, but seeing all the animals, different species, what you can do with them and how you interact with them, as well as how you sort of like, you know, sustain them, you know, their habitat, and cater for them at the same time. I think it's pretty cool. You could definitely lose yourself in something like this for a fair few hours. I mean, once you get the sort of fundamental things, you know, the basics out of the way, I'm sure there's a sandbox mode where you can sort of branch out and then build your own zoo, you know. And I mean, as far as it goes, this has been deemed the best zoo sim out there. So, you know, like I say, if you are interested in running your own zoo and stuff like that, this game is perfect for you. Right, let's continue on with what we were doing. But so far, I mean, the first things that I generally do when I look at these games is I see what sort of options they have. And when I say options, I mean as in graphical settings as well as controls and things like that. And that's something that this game does cover. There are a few settings for you to choose from. So it's not the end of the world. But this game is currently on sale by the time of watching this video. But like I say, something different on the channel. I think it brings a little bit more variety to it. You know, besides like the trucking and busing and trains and stuff, you know, it's nice to branch out. It's nice to branch out. Try something new, as they say. But I do have a few different games that I'm bringing to the channel. Like I say, I'm enjoying the Tycoon stuff. I've got Jurassic World Evolution and the second one to bring to the channel.
It's quite the change of scenery from dreary old England, huh? Apart from the weather, I suppose. They don't call these places rainforests for nothing. The zoo you'll be working in is an ape sanctuary, where we're doing vitally important conservation work. Not just for apes, but for all kinds of species. But apes, well, apes are some of the closest relatives to humans there are. And yet, the way the world treats them is like, well, very much like some of us treat our actual relatives. Anyway, that's why I'm determined that our operation here does some good. If we can all leave some part of the world in a better state than we found it, we'll have lived lives worth living. And speaking of states, I have a horrible feeling I left the house in a right one. When I get back, I expect my life won't be worth living at all.
What do you think of Madagascar then? Bit warm for my taste, to be honest. Anyway, this is Bernie's primate sanctuary. It's not just primates though. We've got all sorts of animals. So why don't we go and have a look at some of them, eh? We'll start by taking a look at the red-ruffed lemurs. They're the ones that look like they should be in a Shakespeare play. Come on, let's head over to them.
Now, the one thing that I didn't like about Planet Zoo, and I'm finding it very, very, very similar to this, is the dialogue, the voice acting. It's very cheesy, but you know, it's quite fitting.
Found in the rainforests of Masoala. That's in northeast Madagascar. They can actually live anywhere from 15 up to 25 years. Fancy that, eh? Okay, when you're ready, let's go find our Bornean orangutans.
Let's have a look at the orangutans. It looks really, really cool though, you know, and I can't wait to actually jump into this properly and, you know, give it a proper go of building my own zoo. I mean, one step at a time. I'll definitely get the basics out of the way, but so far visually, it's actually quite a nice game. The music as well, it's very soothing. It's quite nice, you know, running your own zoo, listening to the music, that kind of stuff, and of course seeing the animals in all their glory. That's what it's
The
that's what it's all about.
Bornean is such a marvellous creature. They're always a big favourite at any zoo they feature in, and they're also the biggest tree-dwelling animal on the planet. Assuming you don't count any lions that got stuck up one.
Yeah.
Oh, why don't you take a better look at them? Open up their information panel and go into the animal camera.
Oh, we get like a front row view.
Aren't they just incredible?
Looks like somebody I used to know. Welcome in, Munchies. Hope you're doing well, man.
Ready, let's go and have a look-see at some of our beautiful bonobos. They're quite the characters.
Bonobos, eh? Now that's a name. Should try Prison Architect. One of my all-time favourites. Yeah, definitely. Like I say, I'll be having a look at quite a few games over the upcoming weeks. You know, before the lady started talking.
Just in time. One of the habitat's barriers has collapsed.
Oh dear.
And wouldn't you know it, one of the bonobos has made a run for it. We'll need to catch them. But before we do, we should box up the other bonobos to stop them escaping too. Select the habitat boundary to bring up the habitat information panel.
Okay.
Good. Now open the animals tab.
Yeah.
And click on Box All Animals to box up the remaining bonobos.
Oh, that's a bit strange, isn't
We'll
it?
need a vet to recapture that escaped bonobo, but it seems our last one left to do some research in the wild. Not an ideal situation. So, we'll need to hire a replacement, sharpish. Go into the zoo section and then into the staff management area.
Oof. Okay, so they've all got very
You'll find all of
similar.
your staff in here, but there's no time to go looking at their particulars at the moment. Hire a vet. Now, click on one of the paths to place the vet in your zoo.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, that's a relief.
Oh.
So while the vet deals with our bonobo friend, let's go fix up their habitat so they can't escape again. Head back over there.
Well, it's not like I went very far, was it? So is it that? I'm guessing. No? What's going on? Let's take a look-see, shall we? Gates, barriers. It seems to be the only one that's there, so... What is going on? Has it just completely conked out on me? How bizarre. Maybe if I...
As you can
there
see,
we go.
the barrier's collapsed. Someone's taken their eye off the ball, obviously. Let's get this one replaced. Select the barrier and then we'll edit it. Delete the broken section of barrier and replace it with a brand spanking new one.
So... to delete the broken barrier, select it and then press delete. Really? Is it that simple? I don't want the whole barrier though. That's the thing. So select the barrier. And then select delete. Yeah, William, it's not... It does look very, very complicated. Like I was saying, it'll definitely take a while to get used to it, that is for sure. No, that is that. Oh, that's quite annoying. That's quite annoying. So barriers. You just said select the barrier. Is it edit barrier? Where's the other options? Gates, all, habitats, blueprints, focus paths, terrain. I don't see any option there. Unless it is just a simple case of pressing delete, but there's no... That's a problem. when you press delete and it doesn't actually delete it. And those people groaning are really starting to annoy me now. Yeah. Well, that doesn't look good. That is just basically it telling me to do something that I can't actually do, which is not helpful. What does that do? Obstructed. Why can't I just put a new barrier in? Do you know what I mean? Like, why can't I just do that? That would be so much more easier just to kind of go, yep, we'll click on it, do what you need to do, and then we'll go from there. But it's not actually doing that. And the monkeys are going mad. I've done it now. I've done it now. Right, let's start from the beginning, shall we? Select the barrier. Log, environment, terrain. Really? Is this what it's... So it is selecting the whole thing. I don't want the whole thing. There we go. Goodness me. As if it couldn't be any more complicated. What does this do? Oh, I'm breaking it all now. That's it. I'm breaking it all. Yeah, but it gives me an option, but it doesn't give me an option. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's saying yes, you can build it, but you can't build it. Right.
Good.
God, what
Now
a
that we've done
nightmare that
We
was.
need to make sure to add climb-proof barriers to the top. That way the bonobos won't be able to climb out. Just make sure you've got the correct piece of barrier selected when you do that.
Oh man.
Okay, so go into the options section and select which side the climb-proof barrier needs to go on. And don't get it wrong. We're more worried about bonobos climbing out than guests climbing in.
Well, it would be on the left-hand side, wouldn't it?
Nicely
There
done.
we go.
And I think it's high time we unbox those bonobos, wouldn't you say? The poor mites will get sad if we leave them in there for too long. Select the habitat barrier to bring up the habitat information panel again.
Oh, goodness me. What was that? Habitat. Oh, for goodness sake. Habitat. I swear there was a button down here to be able to do that. Habitats. Yeah, see what I mean? There is a lot of information to take in. Absolutely. Let's deconstruct. Animal trading. No, we don't want animal trading. There we go.
So, it turns out that as well as the old vet leaving, the zoo's mechanics did too.
Oh, of course they
We'll need to hire
did.
a couple of new ones so we can help stop any more breakouts. You see, mechanics do all sorts of helpful things around the zoo, but one of their most important jobs is taking care of the habitat barriers. Without mechanics around to repair them, the barriers will crack, crumble and fall down. And before you know it, we'll be overrun with escaped animals. Go into the zoo section and then into the staff management area again.
Goodness me.
Hire a mechanic and then click on a path to place them in the zoo.
There we go.
Gosh, we have been busy, haven't we? Good
Goodness
work there.
me.
I'm off for a cuppa. Oh, I think Bernie wants a word with you.
I think I'm going to need one myself after that. Oh, man. See, this is the problem,
I hear
innit?
You had a bit of an issue with an escaped bonobo.
Just a little bit.
The main thing is that you dealt with it swiftly. And more importantly, without the animals stealing someone's clothes, putting them on, and then walking out of the front gate.
Yeah. Well, if you think I did that
See,
swiftly,
another key
you were at a
responsibility
different
for our
zoo.
vets is animal research. Researching animals allows vets to unlock new enrichment items, additional information for our education resources, enhanced breeding programs, and improvements to food quality. The animals' food, not the vets. It'll take more than a research grant to improve the staff canteen. Anyway, as you can see, research is a key part of running your zoo. In order for a vet to undertake research, they require a research centre. And once again, that's something that this zoo is missing. So let's build one. I've marked out an area for you to put it.
I can't wait. Oh dear. You know, this is one thing with these games. They really need to. Now I know they don't do a somewhat of a bad job when it comes to it, but if your game is surrounded by you know, building, the element of building is the main focus, they should definitely hone in on that.
Don't worry. You see, the building that's currently there is actually a hollow shell. So we're able to place our new building inside of it.
Oh.
If you select the research centre for placement and then hover over the shell, you'll see that it asks if you want to add the research centre to the existing building.
Oh. We'll do that then.
Okay, click to add it to the building. Oh, but that won't place it in just yet, though.
Oh.
First, we'll need to rotate our research centre so
Of
it automatically connects to the path when we place it.
Of course we do.
Right.
There we go.
Splendid work. Now that we have a brand spanking new research centre, we can give our vets something to do in there.
Hey.
Oh, by the way, it's worth noting that the vets will only do research when they're not required to do any other jobs. That said, you can change what jobs a vet does via their information panel.
Oh.
Let's not worry about that just now. So,
Yeah.
let's get our vet researching ring-tailed lemurs. Go into the zoo section and select vet research.
Vet research. There we
Here,
go.
you can see a list of all the animals present in your zoo, and also all the potential diseases that can occur. Now, drag and drop your vet onto the ring-tailed lemur to start their research.
Drag and drop my vet onto the ring-tailed lemur.
Actually,
There we go.
thinking about it, I'm not sure we've got any education boards or speakers by the lemur's habitat.
Oh.
Let's head over there and add some, so our guests can learn all about the furry little delights.
Okay, let's go do that.
First off, let's pop down 2 education boards. Place them on the habitat barriers at a height that guests can see, or, if you like, prop them down on a stand.
Okay. Media and education. There is a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff to go through here. Can we put a TV screen on there? Can we put a TV screen on there? Oh wow, that is a big TV screen. Oh my goodness. Maybe that is what they want me to do, perhaps. Oh, we can put the actual TV. That's pretty cool. All right, okay. Well, we'll put one there then. There we go. Nice little TV. And what's there? Memorial plaque, habitat web camera. Place 2 educational boards. Ring for ring. Okay. No. There's me putting the wrong thing down. No surprises there. But it's okay. put that right there.
Okay, now that they've been put into position, we have to tell them what animal to display information about. Select one of the education boards to bring up its information panel.
You can't be serious. Oh man.
And from the drop-down list, select ring-tailed lemur.
I mean, it's pretty
Although
cool.
I'm sure that last part was obvious.
Yeah, it was very
When
obvious.
you link an education board or a speaker to an animal, you need to make sure that said animal is close by. If it isn't, the guests will get confused and won't learn as much.
Oh. Find educational speakers.
Okay, now that we've done the education boards, let's pop down a pair of speakers. Speakers play audio to the guests so they can learn while they look at the animals, instead of having to go through the laborious process of reading. Oh, one thing to bear in mind is that it's important not to put the speakers too close together. If you do, the guests won't be able to understand what's being said.
Really? Well, I put some down. So
Now we simply need to link the speakers to the ring-tailed lemurs, just like you did with the education boards.
oh man, are you joking? Right. And they're small as well.
Fantastic! Oh, it's worth remembering that education boards and speakers both need power to work.
Of
They
course.
won't do much good without it. Oh, it looks as though our vet has completed their research on ring-tailed lemurs.
Oh.
We'll need to collect the results. We can do that by clicking on the notification or by going back into the vet research area.
Let's have a look. Congratulations. Okay, yeah.
Go on, collect your research rewards. Just so you know, vets will continue to research an animal even after successfully completing a research level. I suppose when you're in the zone, you're in the zone.
So I can't take this woman seriously.
Well, now that we've enriched the lives of our guests, let's enrich the lives of our ring-tailed lemurs. Some animals, like lemurs, will have a climbing need. That means they have a requirement for a certain amount of climbing space. And you can fulfill that requirement by building them a climbing frame.
Oh.
Let's find out how much more climbing space our lemur friends need, shall we? Select one of them and bring up their information panel.
Okay, select one of them. I've got to find them first. Oh, look at these little guys. It's pretty cool.
Next, click on the terrain tab.
So they need some more
now,
sand.
as you can see, the lemurs need quite a lot more climbing space. But as it happens, I've already got a climbing frame blueprint built for you. So you can either pop that down or build one yourself from scratch.
I think I'll pop
By the
one
way,
down.
It's not always just climbing needs that you have to worry about. Other animals might need a certain amount of water in their habitat so they can go for a swim. They certainly do keep us on
What's
our
that?
toes.
Is that a climbing? Well, that looks way too big. Can I not, like, rotate it, maybe? There you go.
Oh, that's a great climbing frame for them. They're going to absolutely love it. Do you know what would make them even happier, though?
Couple of
Nicer
beers.
food. But that's
Oh.
true of all of us, though, isn't it? You can unlock better quality food for animals through research. Luckily, we've already unlocked some for the lemurs, so all that remains is to make sure they get served it from now on.
Yeah.
Let's bring up the habitat information panel by selecting the lemur habitat.
Oh, man. Yeah, that is exactly what I'm doing. Habitat. Wait, what did she say?
Oh, that's a great climbing frame for them. They're going to absolutely love it. Do you know what would make them even happier, though? Nicer food. But that's true of all of us, though, isn't it? You can unlock better quality food for animals through research. Luckily, we've already unlocked some for the lemurs, so all that remains is to make sure they get served it from now on. Let's bring up the habitat information panel by selecting the lemur habitat.
The habitat. And then what? Upgrade, food quality upgrade to level 2. Oh, these games have got a very bad way of kind of like... I don't expect it to hold my hand the whole way, but, you know, it's definitely frustrating. Environment, enrichment, filter habitat by species.
Lovely.
Oh.
Now select the Animals tab.
I was clicking on that, but it wasn't saying that.
There we go. As you can see, we can set the food quality in here. Just click on the drop-down menu and select Grade 2 Food Quality.
There we go.
Grade 2 Food Quality. My mouth's already watering.
Over animal food. It's a bit strange.
So, a new climbing frame and better food. Oh, you've really spoilt those lemurs rotten.
Living the dream.
Now, I think it's time we looked at one of the zoo's most important responsibilities.
Okay.
Releasing animals into the wild.
Oh.
You see, when we feel an animal is ready, we can release them into the wild. But what makes an animal a good candidate for release? Well, their age is an important factor. I mean, we can't release an animal that's a juvenile, just as we can't release one that's gotten too old. They'll also need to be fertile. After all, the idea is to repopulate the wild, so the best candidates will have a high fertility gene. And together, the age and fertility of a candidate will determine how many conservation credits we'll be rewarded when we release them. Now, conservation credits are vitally important. They're the lifeblood of your zoo, because earning them allows you to adopt even more animals. And what's more, the animals you can adopt will be of a higher quality. So, with that in mind, let's pop over to our orangutan habitat.
Oh, let's go over to the orangutans.
Okay,
Right.
I'd like you to find Agung, the Bornean orangutan in the habitat, and select him, please. You can either click through each orangutan in turn, or select the habitat barrier, go to the animals tab in the habitat information panel, and find him in the animals list.
Yeah, I think I'll just click on it. I'll just find him. There is far too many. I mean, for me, you know, it's one of those things. If you put enough time into a game, of course, you're gonna be able to learn the ins and outs and the basics of it rather quick. You know, but there's a lot to remember and there's an awful lot to forget. It's a cool game. It is a cool game, don't get me wrong, but I feel that maybe that element of things may put some people off, which is, you know, completely understandable. Where is this orangutan? Is it him in there? No, I don't want the dry bedding. I want... Okay, release him into the wild. There we go. Amazing stuff.
I know it's sad to see him go, but he'll be happy out in the wild. And he's a wonderful candidate for release. Young, strong and fertile. Excellent work there. You've definitely got potential, you know.
Hey.
Ah,
Amazing
I see you've been doing
stuff.
some homework. Although it hardly seems like work when you're learning about something as adorable as a ring-tailed lemur. I imagine I'd have got much better grades at school if there'd been less algebra and more aldebra.
Oh,
Tortoises.
that was painful to listen to. Painful to
Okay,
listen to.
So far, we've done a lot of work with habitat animals, but now it's time to learn all about exhibit animals.
Oh, man.
Let's build a brand new exhibit.
Oh,
I've marked an area
goodness
for our
me.
new exhibit. How about we head over there?
yeah, let's do it. Whilst we've got some sanity left.
Lovely. Now let's build a new exhibit in the gap that's been left. Just add it to the building like we did with the research centre earlier, then pop it into the gap.
Does it matter which one I select? Like,
Perfect.
There we go.
The next thing to do is adopt an exhibit animal to go in there. How about a Gila monster? Open up the exhibit trading
what?
section and adopt one.
oh, I thought she said a healer monster then. I was a bit confused. Right, let's adopt.
Just as we do with habitat animals, we need to send the Gila monster to the exhibit.
Yeah.
Click on the exhibit to send it there.
Oh, how cool is that?
When you send an animal to an exhibit, it'll automatically be given the correct setup. But that doesn't mean it's completely ready for them. So let's finish it off. We'll start by adding some enrichment items. Click on the exhibit to bring up its information panel.
Okay, and then
Good.
enrichments.
Now click on the Layout tab. As I'm sure you know by now, you can unlock more enrichment levels by having one of your vets do some research. Now we'll also need to set the temperature and humidity in the exhibit.
Oh, wow,
These
okay.
are vitally important for keeping our Gila monster happy and comfortable. Click on the Climate tab. Here you can see the Gila monster's desired temperature and humidity. You can change both of these by adjusting the dials below. Make sure it's going to be nice and cozy.
Uh-huh.
That's the ticket. And the last thing we need to look at is setting up the different windows. So click on the Windows tab.
Way ahead of you.
You can edit and customize any of the windows on an exhibit. A window can be closed and blank, or have a two-dimensional background, or even a three-dimensional background on it. Why don't you have a play around with the options?
Oh, that's pretty cool. I think I'll leave it like that.
There's also an exhibit education board. Pop them down near your exhibits to teach your guests about them. Let's add one now.
Oh, we're getting carried away. It's very samey, you know. It's very so we want Habitat Education Board. I mean, I don't want it to completely block it, but will that do? Or is that not right? Right, okay. Education. Slowly getting there, slowly getting the hang of it. Welcome in, Jessica. Played Red Dead Redemption 2. God, I haven't played Red Dead Redemption 2 in a very long time. A very, very long time. Place one exhibit education board. Well, that's what I'm doing, isn't it? Right. Does that not clarify? Does that not count? Or maybe it's the smaller ones. Who really knows? Oh, I've completely lost it now. Maintenance overview. Education boards. Oh dear. Got your windows there as well. Can manage populations too. I think that's pretty cool. But it's a very, very, very slow burning game, isn't it? You know, you've got to really sort of pay attention to what you're doing. Because I've just completely lost the thingy now. Oh, there we go. That's weird. Oh, that's the research for that. Is it habitat? Heaters, beds and shelters, enrichment items. No, that wasn't there. Facilities. Okay. But why doesn't that come up? You know what I mean? Like, why is that not working? Maybe I've got to change it and put a different education board, perhaps. That's memorial. Unless it's this one. Because it would make sense as it's an exhibit, I guess.
Lovely stuff.
There we go.
Now our guests can learn all about our venomous friend here. Right, now, I've got a bit of a big job for you.
Great.
I need you to increase the number of species in the zoo. You'll probably want to adopt both habitat and exhibit animals to do so, which will mean building plenty of new habitats and exhibits for them.
Okay.
Go on, off you pop. I'll check in with you when you're almost done.
Well, that's it. I mean, it's been quite a fun experience so far. Definitely technical. Getting sort of the basic understanding of things. Bit of a nightmare, not gonna lie. It's definitely a game which is going to take a lot of time and experience, you know, getting familiar and getting used to it. But so far, so good. Like I say, guys, if you do want to see a little bit more of this, then don't forget to leave a cheeky like on the channel. Subscribe if you're new and turn that bell notification on, you know, so you don't miss all that good stuff. But I think that's going to wrap it up there for today, for Planet Zoo anyway. But I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you guys stay safe, you'll take it easy, and hopefully I catch you all in the next one. Take it easy, guys.
lads.